Okay, boot campers, just gather around here. We got a demo on a basic Beurre Blanc. What I am going to do is make a butter sauce. Beurre means butter, Blanc means white. So it's a basic butter sauce. Now, the reason I chose a saute pan rather than a sauce pot, because I want a bigger surface area for faster reduction and also a quicker incorporation of the butter. So let's get started. What I'm going to do is turn on the heat. I am going to add the wine, the vinegar, the peppercorns, we'll add a bay leaf, and we'll leave some thyme sprigs. Now, I'd like to know where the rest of thyme went, but we're going to use them in another recipe today. Okay, then we're going to also use the shallots. Okay, that's basically our setup for a reduction. Now, you can reduce this at a very high heat because as soon as it comes to a boil, continue to reduce it. It's not going to burn, and we're going to reduce this down to what we call almost dry, or what we call sec, S-E-C. Now, what I am going to do is add heavy cream to it. Now, if you notice, I have another container of heavy cream over here. I personally like to add a little more heavy cream than the recipe calls for because it gives me more body and it gives me a lot more richness and it gives me a little more stability to my Beurre Blanc. Basically at this point what I'm going to do, I am going to shut the heat off because you do not want to add the butter. Perfect. You do not want to add the butter to this when it's hot, because if you add the butter to this when it's hot, the butter's going to melt, and as the butter melts, it's going to separate. All we want to do is incorporate the butter to this, a couple pieces at a time, all right, and let the butter melt into it. And as it melts into it, it's going to cool down, and as it cools down, it's going to equalize the temperatures of the butter and the sauce, so it's just warm. It's not going to be too hot. And when we do that, all right, when we do that, the butter's going to be melted but not separated. Okay, you can see all them little pieces of shallots and peppercorns, and get all those little munchies out of there. Okay, and we'll put this over to the side. We're then going to take a spatula. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a spatula. I'm just going to work it down through. All right, see what I'm doing? I'm just working this down through the chinois. See somebody over there licking their lips. Looks pretty good. All right, now, by putting it through that chinois, I've gotten all the liquid out of there. Okay, and you got to do this fairly fast because you don't want to cool this down too much, okay? A little salt, a little pepper. We're going to add a little salt to this. I'm not going to be too sure about the pepper on it. Now, to hold this, what you want to do is take this, put this over top of a warm water bath. Do not bring it back to heat. Do not boil it. Do not get it too hot, otherwise the butter separates and it goes into a water phase.